Yeah, hello, welcome back to the second week. Today we want to present you some data we have collected for the NFT price prediction and also for maybe building a recommendation system. So we found different data sources. Of course, in Kaggle you can find data sets, but also with the OpenSea API. OpenSea is the world's largest NFT marketplace. And with the API, you have access to all the NFTs. It's sometimes difficult to scrape the data, so it takes a lot of time. But we will get there. The first complete data set we have are the Crypto Coven, which are with a data set with around 9,800 items, so NFTs. And it's around 3 GB big, and the last recorded price was from the 21st of April 2022, and we have around 10,000 data points, also including the release date, the ID of the NFT, the price, and the B64 encoding images. So we also have the images. So that's our first big data set where we want to build a model on from scratch and then improve it with more collections. So there we have two options, either to have around 4 more collections of big collections with 10K images or NFTs. For example, the CryptoPunks or the Bored Ape collections, which are really popular. So we have a lot of data there for selling data, for example. Other option would be Solana NFT collections, and there the collections are quite small and less popular, so maybe less data for selling, but there we could take more collections into our data. So that's also an option. There we are not quite sure yet. We will declare that the next days. Well, then we have also potential biases, of course, in all the data sets. So when we would use only the 5 most successful collections, there's little variation. So there we don't have the collections which are not so successful, and I think there are quite few collections which are not successful. So probably it's the most collections are not as successful, of course, as the 5 most successful collections. The pros on this is that we can find features that makes NFT successful. So if we use the 5 most successful collections, of course the features which will be detected are also about what makes an NFT successful. And of course, as I said, it would provide a good database because there's a high market activity on that, and we will have a lot of sales data. But also the con is, of course, that less successful collections may also have features we should consider, and they are not recognized. Then, of course, to prevent biases, we did, for the first data set, randomization. So we randomized the data into training, validation, testing data. As you can see, 60, 20, 20%. To avoid that, so I think that's a crucial part, that we don't take the first 2,000 images or something like that, because there, of course, could be biases. And then the next question which we are asking ourselves is if we should, when we targeting the price, should we use the Ethereum price or the US dollar price? Because the US dollar price, of course, varies depending on how the Ethereum course is varying. So this we also have to check. Probably we will go for the US dollar price because that's what the people are most used to. So even if you buy stuff in Ethereum, you always have the US dollar price in mind. And of course, there are also some outliers in the data sets. in every data set for NFT, there will be two extremes. One is that there will be NFTs that have never been sold, so there's no price, so there's also no value. There we have to set the values to 0 because it was never sold. It's not that famous, not that liked probably, because no one wants to buy it yet. And of course, there are also some NFTs which were sold quite often, more than 7 times, for example, which are then, our assumption is that the NFTs that were sold several times within the collections are worth more on average than NFTs never sold. They are just more popular, more liked. But on the other hand, there will be NFTs which were sold one time and then held afterwards because the owner probably thinks that the price is rising and just wants to keep it and doesn't want to sell it yet. So that would be an exception of our assumption. This we also have to recognize, of course. And then for class balancing and data argumentation, we also have to check if the classes are balanced. There we have the randomization process, of course. We have to divide it in test and training data, but we don't have control about the price balance. So this we have to consider for the class balances to figure out how to balance the prices, how to balance the features of the NFTs. And of course, there are also some data argumentation approaches. Of course, we need more data, or it would be good to get more data from the OpenSea API, for example, to get more data sets, to get a bigger databases. So at the end, the network has more input data to learn from. And of course, we can use the pre-trained model AlexNet for CNNs. So this is probably the most popular and most useful tool for detecting features in pictures in images, because it's quite sophisticated already, the neural network. And of course, we also want to use that, because this would make our training process much faster and much more accurate. That's for this week, and hopefully see you next week then.